Forward-facing sonar has revolutionized fishing, like it or not. Real-time sonar images allow anglers to identify big fish at a distance, cast directly to them, and work lures until they trigger a strike. Folks in the fishing industry use the phrase game changer too often, diminishing the impact of angling altering innovation when it really does arrive. And like the rise of artificial lures or 2D sonar, there's no question that FFS is impacting the sport we love. Some people love it, others think it's Pandora's box. Almost everyone has a strong opinion. Let's break down what FFS brings to the table, discuss how it has changed fishing, and lay out the pros and cons of this tournament winning tech. What does FFS do that's new? Forward-facing sonar systems from industry leaders like Humminbird, Lowrance, and Garmin provide real-time images of fish caught in your transducer's beam. Not only does this allow anglers to target individual fish, casting to the big ones and leaving the dinks alone, it also enables them to find these big fish at a distance. Forward-facing sonar translates into vastly increased efficiency. Yeah, I know, efficiency isn't an exciting word, but it translates directly into tournament victories. Anglers using this tech spend a lot more time on the fish than they do looking for them, and they can know pretty quickly if their lures, techniques, or presentations are working. And fishermen who have really invested time in the tech are catching more and bigger fish in tournaments. Another transformative change enabled by live sonar imaging has been the ability to target suspended fish in deep water, elusive bass that were all but invisible prior to this innovation. Traditional approaches just aren't as productive, minute for minute and cast for cast, as targeting suspended bass in deep water. This isn't speculation or guesswork. The real-world result has been increased catch weights, shattered records, and a lot of new blood in the money, specifically younger, more tech-savvy anglers looking to wring every ounce of advantage they can out of forward-facing sonar. But that's also brought with it a noticeable decrease in the variety of techniques and lures getting love in tournaments, as well as a lot of time staring at large screens on the bow of a boat during tournament coverage. Anglers like Randy Blaukat worry that traditional skills like reading the water and structure, as well as time-honed instincts, mean less and less. And plenty of people think that the tournament coverage of anglers staring at large screens for hours and casting a few dozen times over the course of a day's fishing is boring to watch. Proponents of FFS insist that, like 2D sonar in the past, this new tech will go through a period of adoption, experimentation, and perhaps restriction in tournament settings. They see it as no less sporting than running a standard fish finder, throwing an Alabama rig, or doubling down on wacky rigged Senkos. They also point to the limitations of FFS in shallow water, especially when choked with vegetation, the very real skill needed to maximize the potential of this innovation, and the broad availability of forward-facing sonar-capable fish finders. Right off the bat, advocates for FFS will tell you that it requires skill to use. And for anglers who hit the water on weekends, it might not even pay off. In fact, most of the pros admit that anything less than 4 to 5 days a week on the water just won't provide the experience that takes this tech to the next level. And there's no question that forward-facing sonar isn't a magic bullet. If you haven't tried it, you'll find that it's hard to read until you've spent hours upon hours staring at that screen. You won't install your new transducer and see dramatic differences next weekend, but once you've unlocked its potential through experience and practice, it is transformative tech. Proponents of forward-facing sonar also insist that it allows anglers to target mid to deep water suspended fish, providing access to large, previously untouchable bass. That's a big deal for pros and Joes alike, and weigh-ins reflect this. For example, in 2017, the winning bag at Lake Champlain was only 58 pounds and 12 ounces after 3 days. That means that the average weight caught per day by the winner, Aaron Martins, was 19 pounds and 8 ounces. In 2023, by contrast, Kyoya Fujita won the Lake Champlain tournament with 86 pounds and 12 ounces after 4 days. His average weight caught per day was 21 pounds and 10 ounces. This year, legendary comeback kid Easton Fothergill won the Bassmaster Classic with a 3-day total of 15 bass, weighing 76 pounds, 15 ounces. Trey McKinney finished second with 68 pounds, 7 ounces. Fothergill's total weight set a record for the 55-year-old Bassmaster Classic. Fans of forward-facing sonar will also tell you that this new tech is bringing new blood with it. Look at the rise of tech-savvy pros like Fujita. He's dominating tournaments left and right with FFS, and he has his approach dialed in. As tech advances, they reason, early adopters will gain an advantage, as will advanced users. But that's no different from 2D sonar, electric trolling motors, or powerful outboards, each offering a clear advantage if you pay for them and learn to use them effectively. But that's not to say that everyone's embracing forward-facing sonar with open arms. Lots of anglers hate how it has changed tournament fishing and coverage. Rather than a pursuit of live fish with rod and reel, they feel this new tech has turned tournament fishing into little more than a video game. Anglers stare at huge screens for what seems like an eternity, casting infrequently until they find a big bass, and then working that fish till it bites. Detractors refer to this as the harass a bass approach, much like fishermen who target nesting females during the spawn. And if one thing is clear to fans and haters alike, it's that forward-facing sonar doesn't make for exciting video coverage. A recent poll asked fans about their perception of forward-facing sonar on live stream tournaments. 72% of respondents said that they don't want to watch anglers staring at their FFS units. Another fact that's hard to dispute is that forward-facing sonar is leading to a reduction in the variety of traditional skill sets. Pitching and flipping, explosive topwater action, and power techniques of all kinds are falling by the wayside as pros see the effectiveness of mopping, strolling, and hover strolling with spinning tackle. I've even heard pros complain that they find forward-facing sonar fishing boring themselves, reminiscing about times they've had bass hammer a plug or a spook, slam a big creature bait in the weeds, or unexpectedly savage a shallow diving crankbait. They're not fishing for fun, and if forward-fishing sonar wins tournaments, you better believe the pros will focus on it. And that's exactly what we saw in the 2023 and 2024 season. Finally, detractors of forward-facing sonar warn that the tech crosses the line of sportsmanship. Much like using a Q-beam to target deer or hunting feeders, not only does this make the sport too easy, it can have long-term impacts on sustainability as catch rates increase beyond what lakes and ponds can support. 2025. Where are we at with forward-facing sonar? So Bass, in its Elite Series and Bassmaster Classic, now limits total display size to 55 inches with the bow and dash screens combined. Only one forward-facing sonar transducer is permitted, and it must be mounted exclusively on the trolling motor at the bow. But Bass is also going to vet an annual list of permissible transducers from major manufacturers, adapting as the tech changes. The National Professional Fishing League placed a total ban on forward-facing sonar during official practice and competition phases. They still allow legacy tech like traditional sonar, side imaging, and 360-degree imaging. Major League Fishing, the Bass Pro Tour, has a time-based usage standard. Anglers select one of 3 daily period, each approximately 2.5 hours, to activate FFS or 360-degree sonar. They also notify viewers of who's using FFS and when via Score Tracker. They placed no restrictions on college events, but forward-facing sonar is now prohibited in high school competition. How do you feel about forward-facing sonar? Is it just another tech like a trolling motor, or is it tantamount to cheating? Please leave a comment below and we'll get the discussion started.